to the Dumb Stuff We Like podcast, Christmas edition.
Yeah, Quitman. Merry Quitman.
Happy Chrysler.
Happy Chrysler.
You know what I'm saying? We're here to talk to you about some of our, just talk to you about our favorite Christmas movies. There's other Christmas movies that we like in general, you know?
Yeah.
Get you in that solid Christmas spirit. Some
Get
stuff
in
you
the
can
holiday
check out
mood.
over the weekend, whether it be on Disney Plus, Netflix, you know what I'm saying?
Wherever you can get your movies. However you get your movies, no judgments here.
No judgments here, you know what I'm saying? Don't steal from steal from everyone except us, you know what I'm saying? That's how we look at it.
Please don't steal from me. I don't have a lot, so.
We don't have a lot. Not much. A little bit of housekeeping for this episode. This is a special edition. We're not gonna do a decom at the end.
Yay! No decom for me. I hate that shit. All right.
It's just you know what I'm saying. Just keep us in the season. You know, movie didn't really fit with the overall theme of the episode.
Right.
You know, like the previous ones have, and we'll just keep it light and flexible.
Sounds good to me.
All right, but with that out the way, we can roll on to the news.
Let's hit some news. So we got not too much news this week. It's a slow news week. Holidays rolling in. So in any case, let's see. The first bit of news is we have He-Man Masters of the Universe is greenlit for a CG animated series. It's going to be coming to Netflix. So that's pretty hype. I think everybody kind of knew that He-Man was supposed to be coming to Netflix. That was like a thing that had been working for a long time. So now we have a little bit more details. But yeah, it's going to be a CG animated series. Netflix, animated kind of reboots of a lot of these older cartoons like Voltron and stuff like that have worked so well that I can't see this really failing. It's got He-Man kind of hasn't been around for, 40 years.
Right. It's been a long time. They actually had a She-Ra show.
Yeah, they did the She-Ra show. And the She-Ra show, from what I understand, is actually pretty popular. Yeah. It's got a big following. If you go to any of the conventions, you can see people dressed up as a lot of the characters from that show. So it's got a pretty big following. So I think the He-Man show will be great. I hope it needs to be an update, really, because if you go back and watch some of the clips, it is dated. It's got that Hanna-Barbera.
Hey, what's going on, baby? You know what I'm saying?
It's got what I don't hope what I do hope is that they keep Skeletor's original voice. Whether it's an original voice actor, I don't know if he's still alive.
Right.
But that high-pitched, squealy voice coming out this buff, skeletal man.
I could.
Oh,
I hope so.
He-Man. It's great.
Hope and dream for it, you know.
I also think I'll put money on it now. Bet that they will do an homage or some kind of reference, tongue in cheek, whether it's just a throwaway line, to the Hey Ya video that was passed around the internet years ago. Prince Adam.
I don't doubt it at all.
That'll be in there for sure. But yeah, so
hey, what's going on? just something like that.
Hey ya.
That'd be enough for me.
But I'm pretty excited for that. I think I'm probably gonna check it out.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing that news on I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast before, but something that really got confirmed, I think either late last year or early this year, was that I know more recently the Nickelodeon Netflix partnership starting up, where they're going to be putting a bunch of Nickelodeon stuff out on Netflix.
Yeah.
But earlier this year or late last year, they were in talks, and they for doing the live action Avatar television show. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to actually bring the original creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender over from Nickelodeon or wherever they were. And actually work with Netflix on a live-action Avatar show, which really tomorrow The Witcher comes out, seeing how The Witcher plays
tomorrow?
out. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying.
The Witcher series comes out tomorrow on Netflix, and seeing that probably can roll into really being oh yeah, they could probably get some great stuff done.
Oh yeah, how well they can adapt.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean, it can't be as bad as M. Night Shyamalan. People it's a meme. It's a real meme already. So you're not gonna be that bad because you already know.
It's pretty. Yeah, I guess that's true. We've had that already, so it's kind of hard to replicate that level of bad.
The original people on it. It's basically they understand how bending's supposed to work because they created the original show. So it's not gonna be five guys moving their arms in this slow moving rock. It's not gonna be that again.
So good though.
Oh man,
But yeah, we're excited for that.
But yeah, that's other little bit other Netflix news
stuff. Yeah,
you may not have heard of.
We have so DC Animated Universe. They always release pretty fire movies, And the next one coming down the pipeline is DC animated Superman Red Sun. So for those of you who are not in the know, Red Sun is kind of a play off of one Superman. There's a Red Sun thing where Superman he's like depowered if he's under a red sun, like a literal sun that is red, versus what this series is about, which is Red SON, as in like communism or Russian, however you want to spin it.
Son of the Reds.
Right. So this is like an alternate version of Earth that they explored in the comic books. It was like it was an offshoot of one of the graphic novels where Superman is under the Russian Empire. So he wears this big like hammer and sickle on his chest instead of the S.
Yeah.
He's got like a red and black color scheme. It looks really cool, and he's got a Russian accent because he kind of grew up there.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting because it's right around the Cold War as well. So it's kind of this weird spin where he's Russia's nuclear deterrent against everybody else, and it's where they were not necessarily bad guys yet, but they were becoming the big bad guys right after World War II, right? Because everybody's kind of like, vacuum. Germany was the bad guys.
Yeah.
But then, Russia kind of stepped in and fulfilled that role right after. And really it depends on which side of the fence, I'm sure, at the time. Whether you're United States, then Russia's the bad guys. If you're Russia, then the United States is the bad guys. So there was that. But it's kind of a cool spin on there. The characters, all the other DC characters kind of fill those roles as well. The Green Lantern corner in there. And they kind of work as they're dressed as pilots in the trailer.
Yeah, almost like Air Force.
Yeah, really. So they're United States kind of pilots, which is weird because they're all from space and there's a lot of them in the trailer. But there's that, and then there's also Wonder Woman, who's dressed up in a similar red and black color scheme, and the symbol on her chest is more like the Austrian bird symbol.
Double-headed eagle instead of the single head.
Yeah, so it's kind of that Eastern Bloc type stuff looking too. And then you have Batman, who's got a winter getup, I guess you could call it. I think he might have
just been over in Russia in this winter gear.
Yeah, and it's not clear
the whole time.
Right, it's not clear if he's American per se, but he's there and he's fighting Superman in the trailer. But anyways, I'll go check the trailer out. It looks pretty good. If you haven't read the comic, it's a good way to get into some of the comics. It's a good one shot. You don't have to read a bunch of comics, and it's a good story. I think it's a good take on those characters. And it kind of gives you perspective on victory is the key to writing history, essentially. Like they say, is history is written by victors. So it's kind of an interesting take. There was a trailer for that. There's also supposed to be a kind of a teaser trailer attached to that movie when it comes out for the next Justice League animated movie, which is going to be Justice League Dark Apocalypse. So that means we're going to be getting some Apocalypse, which is the planet.
If it's Justice League Dark, then I imagine we'll see Constantine again.
Yeah, maybe, we're hoping.
Swamp Thing and stuff like that.
Spectre.
Yeah.
Who's god-level power in the DC universe. If you don't know who that is, Google him, Wikipedia him. I think it's just called Spectre, or the Spirit. He's this god level power, but he possesses people. He's kind of like Dr. Fate in a sense.
Yeah.
But because it's called Apocalypse, that's the planet that Darkseid resides on. So we'll probably be getting some Darkseid, which is cool. We haven't seen him in
interesting magic stuff. They definitely do. Mm-hmm. They lean more into the magic.
We haven't seen Apocalypse in the DC animated since Justice League War. Yeah. So it'll be cool to see him again.
Running around doing stuff. Yeah.
And those movies are usually pretty good. And then for the next bit of news, we also have a comic book tie-in for the Star Wars movie that's about to come out this weekend, or has already come out, depending on where you're at. But that is explaining the origins of the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be spoiled, don't go look it up. But it's pretty interesting. These guys. And this is, I'm just going to do a quick spoiler alert, give you a brief synopsis, but it basically shows off these guys as not necessarily Sith. And that's the kind of a thing we talked about last week too, where in this version of Star Wars, in this history or future version of Star Wars,
timeline,
Sith necessarily don't exist anymore, because even Snoke didn't call himself a Sith.
Right.
They almost worship the Sith.
Yeah.
Because there's none left to kind of have those teachings passed down. Right. And I think Palpatine in a way, or Sidious in a way, that was his plan.
Right.
He would be the last Sith if anything happened. That's kind of what he's a big hoarder of knowledge. That was his whole thing. But in any case, the Knights of Ren, some of them are Force sensitive, or they can use the Force, but they don't call it the Force. That's how you know they're not Sith.
Right.
They're just worshippers of what they call the shadow. They don't call it the force, they call it the shadow. He can touch the shadow. That's how they reference it. But it does show like all the different like characters, and it doesn't really get into their specific characters yet. I guess there's like more books coming out, but they're all like different. Ren is in their name, so Kylo Ren wouldn't necessarily be their leader per se. I think he's just the one who has the most information on the Force because he was a Jedi or was training to become a Jedi. These guys are just
one of the stronger guys.
Yeah,
so.
realistically, these guys are just guys who they're Force sensitive and they don't know what it is, but they worship this shadow thing, and it's probably got something to do with Sidious influencing them as well.
Right.
But it's interesting. It's very interesting. Their designs are very cool in the comics, especially like the main bad Knight of Ren or whatever they're called right now.
Right.
He's just got like a full-on like helmet. Can't see his face. It's a lot like our like little thumbnail design.
Yeah.
It's just got like red markings on the front. It's just a plain over-the-head helmet, no eyelets or nothing, and just like some marking on the front. And he's pretty badly burnt. He's like ripped, but he's like burnt up too. So
like Revan looking.
And he's got a lightsaber. I don't think he calls it that either. He calls it something. He worships it too. It's really strange. So they're supposed to be getting some highlight in the movie. So it's cool, quick tie-in. But
so I think there's doing like the comic series is supposed to just go over a little bit of, or I think they're supposed to be two, or this was also supposed to be like how Kylo interacts with them and that type of stuff.
Yeah. So the next few issues, or I guess if it's already all the way out, I can't remember. It does delve into what happened at the Jedi training with Luke.
Okay.
Because he's still called Ben, I think.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren is still called Ben in this series because he hasn't become
Kylo
yet.
Ren.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Definitely.
And that was it for the news.
Check out. Yeah, that's it for the news. This weekend we're going to the main topic of just Crittenden movies. Your favorite Crittenden movies. My favorite Christmas movie is straight up probably Jingle All the Way. Realistically, probably straight up.
I think mine is It's a Wonderful Life, which is a old movie, black and white, but we used to watch it every year. It's like a family tradition, and it hits more and more like home for me the older I get. And the more I go through, which is interesting. It's realistically it's a pretty dark movie. So if you haven't seen it, it is black and white. It's older, but it's a great story. So just a guy who he doesn't like the way his life turned out, and he's like married, has kids, but like he thought that he was destined to do so much more than what he's been doing, and so he goes like some really bad stuff happens like financially, and like it just like takes L after L, right? But he still has his family, and he still has a love of, like, even some of the townsfolk that he, like, helps out.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of tired of it, and he decides to go, like, in his life, jump off a bridge. And a guy is in the water before he could jump in, so he goes and saves that guy. That guy turns out to be an angel. And then he tells him, like, thanks for saving me. I'll give you anything you want. Basically, like, I wish I was never alive. So then, like, the angel goes and shows him, well, I don't know if you want that. And he basically shows him what the life would be if he never existed.
Yeah.
And it's super dark, but it's very interesting. Like, it's just one of those, like, stories where it's like, you know, you have more than you really realize, and perspective.
Each of your, like, little actions and stuff that you take for granted even like, means the world to other people and other type of stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just, like, his wife and like his kids really not existing because he doesn't, you know, like all this kind of stuff that happens, or like how the town is like so much worse off without him and his family. Yeah. So it's a great story. It's been done to death now. Like it's been copied, and that's probably a derivative of another story, I'm sure.
Right.
But it's a good movie. It's a really feel good movie. I highly recommend It's a Wonderful Life. Go check. There might be a color corrected version now. When I watched it, it was always black and white. Yeah. But it's really good. So that's my go-to.
Oh, yeah. And for me, it's definitely got to be Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's a great movie, though.
Christmas consumerism and your dad totally not being around to take, like, do anything for you. Oh, hey, Dad, I have this basketball game on Thursday. It'd be great if you showed up. And your dad doesn't show up because he's busy with work and all this other stuff. To the point where, hey, all his wife asked him to do is get your son one Christmas present. It's like, hey, he just needs a Turbo Man. It's like, oh, cool,
Turbo
no problem.
Man.
No problem.
Turbo
I'll
Man.
get him Turbo Man. It's nothing. It's nothing. I have my Russian accent. We can take Turbo Man. I'm not Schwarzenegger. Even
Austrian accent.
I am fucking channeling FPS Russia right now. But yeah, getting Turbo Man, and then he's totally does not get him Turbo Man. He was not anywhere close to having Turbo Man. And then he decides, like parents do at Christmas, oh, hey, it's Christmas Eve. Let me go buy this toy this kid wants when it's like the number one toy on the planet. And yeah, it's kind of then things get interesting. But this movie has it all, maybe?
It all? What do you mean?
It all, like all the good Christmas stuff. There's people caroling, just hyper-consumerism, neglect. Just it's
Classic Christmas staple.
classic
Neglect.
Christmas. There's a Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying? There's the pure and like the spirit of Christmas is there and everything. It's all there. Bomb threats. It's everything you need
Infidelity,
to make a good,
like veiled infidelity.
veiled infidelity.
Remember his neighbor was like all creeping on his
Oh yeah,
wife?
his wife. Yeah,
And was like
yeah.
trying to like destroy their marriage.
Yeah, like it was.
Your husband's never home.
It's just really all. It's really all. It's all in there.
Bomb threats, that's right.
all
Now that you mention that.
packaged.
This is pre 9/11, so
You're right. Yeah,
it was all Gucci back then.
Bomb threats like
It was just
plummeted movies.
yeah. I was
since
gonna
9/11.
say bomb threats back then were like, haha, this is funny. That dude's
Oh wait, it was just general because the guy's postal worker.
That's the
so it was
thing.
like that was the thing. It was postal workers were a thing, and it was like ha 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 ha. And then 9/11 happened, and you don't even get that anymore.
Right.
Like it's gone. It's gone
Right.
now. It's dead. But this is a real I'm pretty sure the movie came out like 99 or like 97.
hell yeah, dude. Sinbad.
So
You get
yeah,
Sinbad in the movie.
is in it.
He's the
It's
mailman.
great. Yeah. So it's a classic for me personally. Definitely true classic.
I think it's a fun movie. It's not a good movie, but it's definitely
Right.
fun. It's
It's
watchable.
cult following, man. I've gone to conventions and seen people dressed up as Turbo
Well,
Man.
yeah, I mean it's got a
lie.
long lasting.
That's a real lie, but
It's got a long lasting like fanhood for sure.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
It's fun. Definitely.
But I love Jingle All the Way, and it's a good movie. I think a good runner up for me. I love the Santa Claus, but only because of the concept. Not the concept. Only because of how dark the story is. Like accidentally dark.
Right.
Because you start the movie off. Spoilers for a movie that's 30 years old.
Right.
You start the movie
the premise
off.
is the premise of the movie. The
Right.
premise.
Is the guy becomes Santa Claus, right? Because he causes an accident where Santa Claus falls off his roof,
Yeah.
and the whole way it works, the clause, CLAUSE, as in like a legal clause,
Right.
is whoever puts on the coat becomes the new Santa Claus, right? And so he or whoever is chosen to become the new Santa Claus,
Right.
I can't remember how it's worded, but basically he puts the coat on and he becomes Santa Claus after he murders Santa Claus. Accidentally, whatever, right?
Santa landed in the snow. Santa's made of plastic or paper mache or something because he should have survived that.
No, are you kidding me? Santa lands on his back, bro, and he
No,
falls
he
off
lands
of a
face down.
he falls off of a 15-foot roof
Into snow.
on his back.
Solid snow. Not on his back.
Yeah, he did.
Bro, I'm telling you, it wasn't on his back. I know it wasn't on his back. He's on his stomach.
Even worse, internal organ damage. The weird thing was he
Hey, man.
disappears. So
Bro,
here's the thing, right?
Like, in my understanding
Let's-
of what happens, Santa's like, easy money, I'm out, and just dips.
I don't think no. That's
Santa just slick.
he's not
dips.
he's not your dad who left for cigarettes. That's not
Hey,
what this
man.
is.
Hey man, it's different.
This is
Santa's like, I'm out, easy baby, snapped, and I'm gone.
so here's the for me is a funny thing that if you start thinking too much, it gets like really bad. But to Melon's character goes out, hey buddy, get off my roof, right? The guy slips, falls. Santa
Right.
Claus like quote unquote dies, but the thing is he disappears. Okay, so Santa Claus is gone, right? Like
Right.
his clothes are left. That's it. So one of two things. I'm sorry. Let's do like A, B real quick. A, Santa Claus dies. no funeral, no pomp and circumstance. This man probably had a family like Tim Allen does.
Yeah.
And nobody, it's like this dude just dies.
Right.
His family it doesn't seem like his family's aware of it. And then
I mean,
Tim Allen becomes new Santa Claus. He still has ties to his family. It's not like he forgets and his family doesn't forget.
Realistically, I mean, how you know he didn't just go through what Tim Allen goes through in the movie? Like, he didn't already handle that. And even more so, how you know this dude ain't 100?
Even if he is, that's just like it's very sad for him to just be like. And even the other characters, like the assistant and all that stuff, they don't really talk about old Santa. Like,
right. I mean, hey, they got a business.
That's the policy. Is just like, look, this is the new guy.
This is happens.
Forget whatever
it
happened.
happens. Whatever. I wonder what's like the turnover on Santas for real. Like, how many Santas have they replaced like rapidly? How many times have it been like?
That's the movie we need. And you know what? To be honest, I haven't seen the other Santa Claus movies. I saw parts of 2, and 3 has Jack Frost.
I think I've seen all 3 of them. I don't remember the latter 2. Realistically,
I don't either. I just know that
remember a little bit. Jack Frost was like gonna take Christmas from Santa Claus. Like, he was like some weird stuff.
Well, the son keeps getting older. That's the only thing I remember. It's like the way the movie works is like he's still Santa Claus, and his son becomes a teen. By the last one, his son is like almost an adult. I want to say. Yeah. So it's, I don't know, man. Like the franchise is whatever. I didn't even know it was a Disney franchise, so it's probably on Disney Plus. But the original Santa Claus movie is great, man. Like him speaking like different languages, like Santa Claus in different languages, them interviewing him, him going like Papa Gijo, they're like, who are you? And it, like all of that stuff is like ingrained in my, and like him shaving and then his facial hair coming right back,
like him
and
looking down, look back up, and
getting fat, and there's the whole I guess this was like a thing back in the 90s, but like especially Disney movies, like step parents, right? Because his step parent's like a dentist or a psychologist. No, he's a psychologist, right? He's a therapist. It's, dude, 90s Disney was like, they hated parents, bro. Like, parents were straight.
They were never together.
Evil and didn't love each other. And
they were never together. and your dad was always some guy who was not there.
It was it was always Greg or some. It wasn't like, it wasn't
Greg or Paul.
It wasn't ever like dad, you know? It was always like mom's boyfriend or mom's new husband.
Yeah, that guy. And like, it's always like your dad, either he was like mad like businessman, busy, and he couldn't take care of you,
or he's just a trash father.
Yeah, or he's a trash father, like, or he had like, or even they did the other thing where like your dad's like fun, he's real fun, but he's not doing anything.
He's just like a blight on society.
He would pay for it. Like,
he's like a fun bum. Like,
yeah, it's like
fun bum.
Like your dad was never like just, oh, hey, I'm leaning on my dad and my mom is assholes. That was never the case.
90s dads in Disney movies are scrubs. Like, they're just straight up, like, TLC scrubs.
It is funny.
Hanging out the passenger sides.
of their ex-wives'
rides. Yeah.
It's like real stuff. Like, it's always interesting, though. Like, but the dad never gives up on the kid, though. That's always, like, the thing. Like, the dad
loves the kid.
The dad's committal. He has that commitment there when it needs to be there. When he's about to lose everything, he comes up. You know what I'm saying?
I just had an idea. So we do this a lot on this podcast where we're like, we're gonna do a themed episode, but legitimately, we need to do one
for
bad dads, dude. Like,
okay,
you know how many? I'm just thinking about like how many. So Tim Allen has been a bad dad in at least 2 different Disney movies. He was a bad dad in that Jungle movie. Remember?
Jungle to Jungle.
Yeah. Wasn't he a bad dad?
Jungle to Jungle was a joint, too.
He was like a business dad.
Yeah, and his kid was like from Africa.
Yeah.
Well,
wasn't he a bad dad though in that movie? There was something where he was kind of like he had to connect with his kids through this kid.
I think his son's mom got like sick and she was like dying or something. Oh no, that's what's happening in the movie, but you don't really know that till later in the movie.
Right.
And so she's like, calls him, hey, you have a son who's 15.
That's right.
And he needs to come like stay with you for a while. You need to meet him, and he can come to America and stay with you. You know.
So we're gonna do a Bad Dads episode.
There's like
you're thinking about it's a lot of movies.
I remember
bro.
some weird like sexual stuff in that movie.
Yeah.
At some point. I think like the girl he likes or something like that, and him like there's some weird stuff that I remember like, but I haven't seen it in a real long time.
No, you're right. I do.
So,
I have.
Like your
like
child
triggering.
brain is trying to like reconcile it, but you just don't know.
Your kid brain is like, no, that didn't happen like that. It's innocent.
I think
I haven't
that,
seen it in a while. I
yeah,
hope
that
it's
and
on
the
Disney.
kid's a fucking or just wearing a loincloth around. I'm pretty sure it is in New York. 'Cause everything takes place in New York. He's just running
That's
around New York
true.
in a loincloth.
Do you
just
think it's
'cause-
in Disney? I hope it's on Disney Plus.
I don't. Yeah, I really don't know.
If not, we'll find it. It doesn't matter because we'll find it either way. But
yeah.
we're gonna do a Bad Dads episode. I think it's necessary. Even Air Bud. I'm pretty sure in Air Bud, old dude's dad is not around, which is why him and his dog get along so well.
I don't
Or
know.
like he moved schools because I thought it was like his dad passed away. He has-
Like there's several tropes. Either your dad's a drain on society.
Uh-huh.
Your dad's a businessman who's too busy for you.
Straight
Your
died.
dad's dead.
Dead.
There's always in 9 times out of 10 there was a stepdad. Like
Yeah.
very rarely was your mom just by herself with you. She had some new guy she was trying to get with, and this guy was likable enough. You know what I'm saying? But it's still just like.
But he's still Greg.
I don't know you, dude.
Yeah, he's still.
It's like
he's still Greg.
who are you for real? Like I don't know.
We'll do a Bad Dads episode. But yeah, while you look that up, I also want to talk about some other. So I was thinking
Mimi Siku, dude.
on the.
It's a Disney movie. It might be on Disney Plus.
I know it's a Disney movie. That's what I'm
Bro.
saying. It's a Disney movie. It's got to be on Disney Plus.
Oh my! If this is on Disney Plus, it's a wrap.
I know some of you. If we do have some of you listeners out there, I know some of you are like probably getting triggered too because you're like, I do know Jungle to Jungle because it's one of those things where like, yeah, I remember seeing it because it was a pretty popular movie when we were kids, but like, now you're like, I totally forgot about the movie, but now it's triggered and it's there.
I say, and I think like if we're off topic now, but that's special. It's a special. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Like it being like another movie, almost like Encino Man, where it's like some character out just like completely from a different era entirely, just running around in normal society doing whatever they're doing, stuff like that. So it's like
It runs that too.
That movie is interesting. But I'm interested in doing this bad dad episode.
We'll do a Bad Dad episode.
Being like, or just like really focusing more around like Disney movies or something like that. Because I mean, I could track every 90s movie down to determine how the dads were. I guess kids movies. I mean,
There were movies where parents were okay.
Popular kids movies, I guess.
Here's a Christmas movie where both parents were involved. Home Alone. Now, just because the parents were involved does not make them good parents.
Right.
As a matter of fact,
So,
Home Alone is
what's name's dad was bad, even though he had racks on racks.
This man
11 people.
Well, his mom worked too. I think that was the whole thing.
But 11 people.
Yeah, they had a baseball team.
Paris.
They had a football team.
That's. I was wondering if you were gonna catch that. But yeah, 11 people. I'm pretty sure they went to Paris in the first movie.
What he's saying is they go to Paris in the movie, and they take their entire family, like all the kids.
Yeah.
It's 11 of these little.
Bought 11 round trip tickets to
Little
Paris
kids running around.
for Christmas. I don't even want to know how much that was. This is also before 9/11 though. Was flying not that expensive back in the day?
No, it was still expensive. It just wasn't. The reason it's it's always because of gasoline prices, but I mean prices got gouged.
I mean, and their house, and they lived in a fucking mansion.
Yeah, in
I mean,
New York, in New York City,
They
right
lived
outside
in
New
a
York City.
slick mansion. Like you
Rich
think about houses,
AF.
and you're like, okay, 11 people live in this motherfucker, and it's when you look at the front door, you're like, these walls, dude. How like you? I don't think you get to see a side view of the house, but you look at it from the front, you're like, this house ain't small. This house ain't small.
One boy gets left home alone when criminals break in, and his whole family leaves him to die.
To die.
No, that's not what happens. But it's kind of what happens.
I mean, the movie. Logically, the things that happen in that movie is like, I'm wondering why the criminals are like focused on this house. It's like, oh, there's only a kid in here, whatever. So why do the kids like call the cops, a neighbor, somebody?
There was a reason.
I mean, I think he didn't want to get like somebody to watch over him. They knew if like he called the neighbor that she was gonna leave him at the house by himself or something like that.
There was
what I'm
that.
saying? He was balling
and
out.
I think there was also something where they didn't believe him or something strange.
He was in the house by himself.
They could have cut the lines. I don't know what kind of criminals these are.
I don't know.
All I know is that these are the most resilient bastards of all time
Bro.
because they did not die. There were many times when they
These boys are
should
comic
have
book
died.
physics. Straight comic book physics.
Paint,
Helping.
like paint of lead paint can to the
To the
head,
forehead.
swinging
Just
like a pendulum. And this guy was like still ticking, no concussion.
I mean,
He's able to still make
decisions.
decisions.
Right. Got super shocked. Like,
all we got
hit him with
is
the
like one of
lightning.
those
Hit him
just
with
a
the
really
static shock.
really funny like noise as it gets hit.
Bricks flying off like from the roof.
Yo.
I'm pretty sure.
That's how you straight murder somebody.
Yeah.
Nails with like tar and stuff.
Yeah, they got tar and
Tetanus.
feathered and stuff like that.
Dude, this dude stepped on a nail like on the stairs. He put the nails up on the stairs, like glued them so they were facing
bro.
up. He set that one dude's head on fire.
Yeah, bro. These dudes are operating on straight comic book.
Here's
movies, 'cause
the
there's no
thing:
way.
if you're robbing a house and the resident, even if it's a child, sets your head on fire and you don't die, you're probably gonna be like, it ain't even worth it, bro. Like,
right, it's really not worth it.
and like, was there a reason they didn't want to use guns? It was because it was too loud. Like they didn't want to call the cops.
Yeah, I
cause
think they were just
commotion?
like basically, really they weren't even trying to hurt the kid really, because I mean that's a worse sentence for like a crime
Right.
than me just stealing stuff from you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they were just trying to break and entering and then take some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Versus, I mean, really, if they could have got their hands on the kid, tied him up, sold their stuff, and been gone, whatever.
It would have been
So
fine.
they were. I mean, realistic, because me, I'm like, just break a window, slide in this piece, and go. What are you doing? I mean, realistically, because the chance of him booby trapping every window on this mansion is unlikely. You know what I'm saying?
But he still had.
They were going through the attic, the basement,
This
back doors, and so I'm like, bro, come on, they have windows on his beast.
this
What's
man
up?
was prepared though. He had the marbles and them like Hot Wheels out.
I
and-
mean, I'm not surprised he was prepared. 11 people live in this thing. He had the supplies for days.
It's still a great movie, but like just thinking about it as an adult makes you like really pissed off and just
Right.
like these criminals are super idiots, and then like this child is a cold-blooded murderer. Like
Right.
this dude
He's
is straight
Saul.
murking these guys.
He saw and didn't know it yet.
Like he is. Yeah, it's Saw House.
Because it's really like, oh, you're doing this to yourself. Like, if you don't come in here, you won't have these problems.
To play a game. It's like it's just one of those things. So like that happens in the first movie, and then there's a sequel,
Yeah.
and this family leaves this boy
New York.
again. And is it back to back? It is consecutive years.
Yeah, it's 2 years in a row.
2 years,
Yeah.
but I think the second year he's not in the house anymore.
Yeah,
he's in like
he's in a hotel, or he's lost in New York.
yeah, and he
I
ends
think
up.
they leave him at the airport. He makes it to the airport. Like in the first movie, like they load into the car and just forget him. Like get through like everything, and they're like on the plane gone. And in the second movie, I'm pretty sure he's like left at like he's at the airport, and he doesn't make it on the plane because
Right.
he's like looking down, and like he gets left by his family, and they all make it on the plane, and the plane takes off, and then she's like, Kevin, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
and he's lost, but this time the criminals are out to actually murder him. And that
Yeah,
was a whole
and
game.
it's
They're
the
like,
same
we're killing this
criminal.
kid.
He's and he finds his way he has like his dad's wallet or for some reason like something happens and he's holding his dad's wallet and stuff like that, so he ends up like getting able to go to a hotel, like he orders a limo with a large cheese pizza, takes him to his hotel. Donald Trump is there. I seen it, and he
Donald Trump is in a lot of those.
he
movies back
he
in the
directs
day.
the kid to where he's trying to go. The kid, that's what directions. It's like, yeah, it's that way. You know what I'm saying? It's helpful. Easy.
But in any case, CPS should have been called on that family.
Right. After the second time, like you'd be like, bro, okay, maybe you have too many.
You are the worst parents.
Maybe
Stop
you have
having
too many.
Stop having kids.
I mean, they did. I'm pretty sure he was the youngest, or one of the young. I don't even think he was the youngest. I
No,
think
he
that's- I
wasn't the
think that's
youngest.
why.
They had a younger.
Yeah, I think that's why. Like he wasn't the youngest, because you always look out for the youngest.
Yeah.
But he was just like relative middle, so it was like, yeah,
They're
you might be
bad.
dead middle.
Bad
realistically.
parents. These are bad parents.
Right.
Just
I mean, keeping up with or there was 11 of them total, so keeping up with would have been 9 kids.
yeah.
Yeah. Yikes.
Just goes to show you that just because your parents are together doesn't mean that they're good parents.
Right. I was watching this on House, man. House is like, yeah, all parents screw up all kids. It's just like the way it is.
Yeah.
It depends on what level of screwed up you are.
So yeah, Home Alone 1 and 2 still holiday classics.
I actually like Home Alone 3.
I like Home Alone 3 too. I think it's underrated. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people don't like it because it was
It's I mean, it came a while afterwards,
And
and
it's-
it's not fucking Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
But, I mean, but I actually like Home Alone 3.
I do too.
4, I can tell you anything about anything beyond that, but I like the newer toys. I mean, I was a kid watching the movie, so like the newer toys he had.
He had
in
the
Home Alone,
RC car
like the
that
RC
he had
car and, like,
with the
stuff he's
camera
doing.
attached to
Yeah.
it,
All
and
that
there were
type of
like
stuff was
4
cool.
professional criminals,
Right.
and he stops them.
Yeah. So that I like that. I like that one. I mean, I saw it as well.
It's pretty good.
It has a bad rap, but it's like, oh, blah blah blah. It's like, oh, it always, man. You can only do so many things so many times before people are like, I mean,
That's true.
the premise is dead.
What other holiday movies do we like? I mean, there's always the Christmas classics. There's A Christmas Carol and like the 80 different movies that came out.
Right. Like Scrooge's story has been told a million times.
I mean, there's a duck version of him. Like, it's McDuck, and it's all like you've seen it. Ghost of Christmas Past, Ghost of Christmas. Right. I mean, even Aqua Teen Hunger Force had done a Ghost of Christmas Future Past, which is, if you haven't seen that episode, please go check it out.
I mean, X-Men did a Days of Future Past. Like, everything.
Well, that's different.
Everything.
The Ghost of Christmas Future Past is a literal robot come from a past future. But he comes, and it's funny, Aqua Teen Hunger Force is just it's wild. But he shows up, and he's basically explaining, like, a Terminator-esque future, but it's dealing with, like, elves and, like, Santa and robots.
Oh, man.
So it's, like, weird. It's this weird mix of the stories. But, like, before he even starts telling his story, he's like, he's like, wait a minute, before I start, does anybody want to get snacks? Because this is a long story. And everybody's like, no, can you just tell a story? He's like, okay, but it's a really long story. And he's like doing it with his robot voice the whole time. And then he finally starts, and then one character, I think it's like Shake, of course.
My Shake.
Yeah, and he's just like, I'm gonna go get snacks. He's like, I told you, and like he stops the story. It's like, I told you before the story started it was gonna be long to get snacks. Now you don't get to leave. So I would go check it out. Just hearing me repeat it is making me mad because it's not as funny. But I would check that out. That my brain got triggered.
And that made me think of things like, what are your, like, either individual, like, Christmas episodes of shows, different shows you've watched, popular shows probably. I mean, it would be a good place to go with that instead of just some of run the real obscure unless you want to get obscure, or like running Christmas themes in shows. I know for me when I'm thinking about it, like I like how Santa Claus isn't in Futurama. He's fucking the robot. He's like
a robot.
He's there to murder people.
He's there to kill people.
Like that is probably one of my like favorite like TV show. Just like how you repurpose Christmas into this other thing where, oh no, this robot's coming. Everyone like locks their doors and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't want to have your chimney open because he's coming in to kill. He's coming in to murder you.
It's pretty great.
Down in the street.
To be honest, I don't have a lot of like Christmas themed things. What's weird is like there's a lot of anime that I've watched that do have Christmas themed episodes.
Yeah.
And it's usually just like a gift exchange episode, like get all your characters to like, come closer and just do the whole family thing.
Yeah.
But as far as TV, I don't have a lot of like stuff that I've watched that is Christmas themed. I mean, I'm sure I've watched Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers always had like a Christmas episode. It's weird to think about. I don't have any specific memories, but I know they had some kind of Christmas themed monster that they fought.
Right.
It had to happen. Yeah. Ninja Turtles had Christmas episodes. I'm sure Transformers, if I go back and watch, even Beast Wars maybe has a Christmas, which would be interesting to watch.
Oh man, we can do the Transformers episode. I can talk to that link about Beast Wars. Oh my god.
There was something where Transformers has a comic book. I think it's IDW that does them, but they have a comic book series that's out. It's been running for a while now, and they're planning a crossover next year with Terminator franchise for the comic books.
Okay.
Not necessarily for the movies. Just a quick tidbit
on that,
little plug, but yeah, I don't have a lot of things I can pull from for as far as like TV shows.
I know Futurama was really mine, and then how Santa Claus.
That's my most vivid. Like I can remember that beat for beat.
As of much South Park as I've seen, I don't even remember like
there's
what
Christmas
Food was about. Like South Park, I don't even know what was going on with that.
No.
Why? What was going on or why? There's never really a point to most of the stuff they do. It's just It's funny. that was why.
What else? I mean, hitting back movies.
Movies.
What else have we seen that was? I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a big one. All you freaking goth dweebs out here.
Oh my god, living this shit, living that, and
keeping Hot Topic alive for 30 years. Just Sandy Claus.
They'll blow.
It's a good movie, but is it so good that you have to like love Tim Burton?
Right. So that and the Corpse Ride, man. He made you really just come up on the Corpse Ride because you had this. I think how many movies did Tim Burton make like anime like that? Is Frankenweenie, or there's another.
Frankenweenie's not. Oh wait, it is Tim Burton.
Okay, because it looks. I was because the art.
I think it might be Tim Burton.
Look, yeah. Okay, so then the three movies then: Frankenweenie, Corpse Bride, and the
Look, Tim Burton's a great director.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but these people, the same people, probably don't even haven't seen the Batman movie that he did,
Right.
which is one of his better movies. They probably watched Sweeney Todd, which is a crappier movie, to be honest.
Right, Trinity Child was. I don't know. I watched it much later, and I did not. I was like
The other one, basically, Tim Burton's been giving Johnny Depp work
Right.
for years,
Right.
until he could
Johnny
hit that
Depp
Pirates money.
and the lady.
Helena Bonham Carter, who
His
was
wife.
his wife,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
still might be. But
No,
yeah,
I like her well enough.
she's great. I mean, all of his movies aren't bad. They're good movies. It's just the people who worship him because they're into the hot topic culture.
Right.
That's what's
Could you
really
imagine if
upsetting.
instead of M. Night Shyamalan making Avatar, it had been Tim Burton. That would have been a different movie for definite. Definitely.
But yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas is a pretty good movie. Actually, I like it.
I like the premise, like the premise of holidays interacting like that.
Yeah. The
And then
forest of seasons or whatever.
Yeah, and I guess it gets to overall have the dark take on it because of usually what Halloween represents, like Sandy Claus and stuff like that, like them what he does, and then understand he gives them presents, but it's oh, they're Halloween presents from these monsters and stuff, and they're giving you worms and all this type of shit, bugs.
I just like Oogie Boogie because he's got this heavy southern Louisiana accent.
He's
such a
boss
great
hog.
Yeah. He's got a boss hog thing going on. I love it. I love characters like that. It's just so fun. But yeah, that's a good Christmas movie, I guess technically.
Yeah.
Christmas Story is great. That's a classic. That's one of those 1980s Goonies style
Right.
kids cursing, doing dumb stuff movies.
Yeah, it's oh hey, you should lick this pole
Yo,
in the winter because that's a good idea.
Smart kids out here, man.
Kids get stuck. Oh man, was his brother's name Ralphie? Or he named Ralphie?
I think so.
Yeah.
He's calling to him as he's stuck to the pole.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it in a while.
and I remember thinking about his brother. I remember specifically how his mom had his brother dressed in all those layers of clothes.
Yeah.
he's looks stupid fat in all those layers of clothes. So they get cold. It's funny.
There's also some less popular movies like Jack Frost, which dark, very dark. Dad again
Dies.
straight dies.
Comes back as I'm not sure if his name was
Reincarnated
Jack.
or possesses a snowman.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was dead in the first place. I mean, not dead in the first place, but his name was Jack in the first place.
I thought the beginning was he's in a car accident caused by snow,
Yeah.
a slick road, and a truck hits him head on.
I'm not necessarily. I know he dies in the movie, but I'm not sure if his name was Jack before to be Jack Frost.
You know what?
I'm not
I
sure,
bet it was because
Yeah.
it's a movie and the movies are stupid.
Yeah, they're just you're.
Jack Frost.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? It's some garbage like that. This
But
man's name was Jack Frost before he died, and you're just what did you expect? It lines up perfectly.
So the whole thing is he's a snowman, right? And he's trying to contact his family or get back in touch with his family, but he runs the risk of dying again because he's gonna melt
inside. Yeah,
it's that's so
he
dark.
Does creep through the windows a lot in that movie. He's creeping through windows a lot.
I'm back, baby, and then he's for the next 2 weeks maybe because it could melt.
It's gonna stop.
Then
It's gonna
he
get warm
dies,
eventually.
and you melt to death.
Right.
That's got to be worse than any other death.
Probably. Yeah. What was I thinking? What was it? The Family Guy thing where they do Jack Frost, and he's walking up behind. I think it's either Peter or the chicken, no, it was Lois, because she was upset. She Christmas snapped, and she was walking down the street. He's hey lady, hey, how are you? She knocks his head off.
Oh man.
and then he puts his head back on. It's hey, no, by the way. And he goes and talks to her, and she gets alcohol and melts him down, but his hat falls off. And then the kids put his hat back on his head, and he's oh, take it off, because he's melted. It's yeah, Family Guy
dark.
does some like legit stuff too. Lois like snaps and like goes to murder the Christmas tree. Like basically, she's like everyone's like complaining. She's doing all this stuff to like make Christmas nice, and everyone like is complaining about stuff, and she's like, she just snap. No, I forget what it was. She like Peter had done something, like the tree or something in the house was like there, and he had just made all of that stuff go away from doing dumb Peter things, and then she was just she just snapped. It was great. People snapping in Futurama is always, or in Futurama, Family Guy is always great. Futurama, Family Guy, they are severely different shows.
I was gonna say, I'm like a
kinda
fan
close.
of Futurama, not so much Family Guy.
I mean, I can see the appeal of different shows.
Yeah. Not me. I'm a
Not me.
one show man. No.
This one show's good. Everything else is trash.
But there's Jack Frost. There's what other Christmas movies are there? Don't you guys tell me Die Hard. Do not at me. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It
Die
takes
Hard.
place during Christmas.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man is not a Christmas movie. It also takes place during Christmas. It is a fun movie. Both of these are great movies. They are not Christmas movies.
Iron Man. Okay. Only thing I particularly take out of Iron Man 3 as a win is the 43 armor or 42 armor. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's it. Like every most of the rest of the movie, I'm like, there's a lot of time where we're not in armor, and this is not fun for me
Right.
at all. I mean, especially after Dr. Jordan, Iron Man 2, Iron Man gets wasted. It's not drunk Iron Man from the comics. He's
Poisoned
poisoning
and drunk.
Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? It's
he's about to die, Iron Man.
Right. It's different, but he still gets there. So it's like it's cool. He's like, oh, he just thinks he's about to die, so he just goes to just throw his
Well,
life
Iron Man
out there.
3 wants to show people that he's a superhero without his suit.
Mhm.
And I think it did what it was supposed to. But then there's
Hyper Mandarin fake out.
the Grinch. Well, I can't remember why
yeah.
the Grinch. Jim Carrey's the Grinch, or even the animated Grinch. Both great movies. Jim Carrey's the Grinch, in my opinion, is the better movie. It's way more fun. It's
Right.
quotable. He really put that character to life.
Jim Carrey and Blair like several characters when you need them to be over the top, like to exist
Memorable and
in a world and just be just that much more. He like there are very few people that do it like that. That do it
It's-
like the way he does.
just there's so many scenes in that movie, like when the little girl is there and he's trying to scare her,
Yeah.
but she's not scared of him. And he's doing the jumping back and forth thing. He's like ripping his shirt like
Yeah.
it's like Alien and just all of that stuff he's doing, or like even his flashbacks as Baby Grinch
Oh,
are
man.
like great, and him shaving at like 2, and it's
Man.
it's a great movie, man.
That's definitely a great take on the story.
It's a
It's
good.
probably legitimately the best.
It's
Grinch movie.
my I would say it's my go-to Grinch
penultimate Grinch movie.
story.
Yeah.
Like
I haven't
even,
seen the new animated one they did last year.
it's good.
I haven't seen that one.
It's good. I mean, I think it's a timeless story.
Yeah.
Even the book is great. So, Dr. Seuss was out here hitting. He's
Doing
Hit after
Seuss
hit.
thing. he wrote nice books.
yeah.
There we go.
They were the best rap books I've ever read in my life.
Dang.
Genius lyrics out
One
here.
fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
What
bars.
what Dr. Seuss is saying here is there's more than one fish, and there's one that's red, and there's some that's blue.
Wow. Bars.
Bars.
Bars. Christmas bars. You know what I'm saying? Would have been. But the Grinch is definitely a true some true hype going on. What else? Oh man. I remember like the titles of movies because like you remember like having cable during the time and just seeing movies, but I don't really remember what they're about. Like Miracle on 34th Street or something like that. Like I remember that, but I don't know what that movie's about.
It's about a miracle on 34th Street. What are you talking about? What's in the title?
like Nightmare on Elm Street.
I don't know. There was also like Elf.
Oh,
I think
man.
Elf now is overrated. There was a
Yeah,
time
yeah,
when
they
like nobody
pushed it.
liked it, and then it got hype, and everybody loved it, and now it's overrated. It's funny. I've seen so much of it online that it's kind of ruined the movie for me now. Like, I can't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
But that movie's great. Just like even the whole beginning of him being an elf and not realizing that he's not an elf.
Right.
But he's like in the
you're
bathroom,
gigantic.
and it's like this tiny toilet and he can see over the stalls, like, and he's sitting on his dad's leg, and his dad's like super small and just like upset.
So how do you not know you're not? Well, I mean, they didn't. They just tell him it was different. I mean, realistically, like when you're growing up in that world, you don't see anyone different. Other than Santa, you're as big as Santa. You're taller than Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't really
Something.
if you don't really know other things,
Look,
I mean,
Buddy is autistic.
yeah, he's
Everybody
special.
knows it. He's
real special.
This man is autistic.
I mean,
Passion fruit spray.
which gets real interesting as far as the show or like the movie goes. Is like there are adults, there are elves who behave like adults. I mean, he ages a lot, quote unquote, faster than they do, realistically. So it's like, I guess you would still be at the child phase at this point in your life as an elf, but it's like,
so he mentally,
right.
he's still a kid, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so that means
he
that
ages
girl
normally, like we do.
No, I know. I'm saying mentally, right?
Yeah.
So that girl that gets with him later in the movie.
Yeah.
That's
okay. Oh man, okay. You're trying to get.
No, you. What?
You're trying to get too much into that point. I mean, he's a grown adult man.
And he's a grown adult autistic man. He may
have been autistic.
He's
he
hard.
Just didn't know any better.
Bro,
I mean,
he's hard on that. No, he's hard on that spectrum. He walks in there when she's showering, and he knows it's bad because he closes his eyes and runs out.
I don't know that. I mean, did he walk in there on purpose?
Yes.
I don't remember that part.
He didn't walk in to see her naked, but he walked in and he was singing because she was singing. They're singing "Baby, It's Cold Outside." He goes in there, he's singing with her, and then she sees that he's in there and says, "Get out of here." He closes his eyes and runs out and runs into a door.
I mean, for him, a lot of this is Christmas. He lives that.
Yeah.
If she hadn't been singing the Christmas song, he wouldn't have rolled up in there.
Maybe.
He lives that life.
Yeah, no, I guess that's true.
Him
attacking Santa Claus is great.
It ain't real
You're not
Santa.
Santa Claus.
It's like, this ain't Santa. Like, I guess, like, I mean, you don't expect him to leave. Oh, they told him to leave, didn't they? Like, hey, you're gonna go see your real dad or something, whatever. I mean, you'd think they would have given him something. Like, I mean, I'm not sure how much they understand, but I mean, like, you give them, like, hey, man, these are a couple things you might need to be aware of. People do have this thing where Santa shows up. It's not real Santa, but keep it to yourself, because nobody else knows. Chill. Let the kids tell Santa what they want. We're good. I mean, it's just, we're cool. We're cool with that.
Speaking of not telling him about his dad, bad dad alert again.
Bad dad alert.
Just
on
so you
two
guys
levels,
are aware.
realistically.
Bad dads are everywhere.
I don't even know how he ends up just like lost up in wherever the hell they are.
Because he didn't give him. He just like told him where it was, but like they weren't.
No. That's why in the first place, like them losing him for him to be with elves. Oh no, he crawls into Santa's bag.
Yeah.
That's what happened. How long did they look for him? For how long realistically? I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody said something.
Someone had a funeral for a baby.
Right. Like, how long did they look for him? Like, he crawls into Santa's bag and just ends up in
losing
the
your baby on Christmas. That's the movie that should have been made. That's
right.
sad and depressing and horrible.
I don't know. You probably wouldn't make that movie. And why didn't Santa and Mrs. Claus take care of him?
The elf.
They
prequel.
knew he was human, big dude.
Because Santa and Mrs. Claus don't got time for no kids. They trying to do other stuff.
Living their best life.
They living their best life.
Living their best life in the off season. You know what I'm saying?
Polar Express is another movie. It's the one that everybody's like, oh man, it's in that uncanny valley. It's really strange, but I think it's a pretty good movie. It's a little bit ahead of its time, and there was a lot of stuff going on that like it made it very uncomfortable to watch. But what's funny is Tom Hanks does the motion capture for like majority of the characters, but it's even the kid, which is why it looks even weirder than it should. Like, because his face is stretched out onto Tom Hanks' head in mocap. So
that's wild.
Just interesting concept, interesting movie.
You know, talking about bad dads or bad Santas with Bad Santa.
That was a good transition. Bad Santa. I watched it. I don't necessarily like it. I think it's too much. I think it's one of those movies that it does too many like raunchy things.
It's almost like Rick and Morty, almost. Like
I think it, but it's not. I don't think it's smart.
I mean, it's not like that, but I'm just saying, like almost like not like how Rick and Morty is Back to the Future. This is like Rick and Morty, like that. It's like it's a hard step removed, realistically.
Yeah, it's just for me, it's too raunchy.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole gimmick, right? It's supposed to be
Bad
like
Santa.
Santa just being like ridiculously bad, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's just not my type of movie, really.
You're not a Billy Bob Thornton fan?
Not really.
Dang.
I like holly jolly, fun
Holly
Christmas
jolly
movies,
Christmas.
and that movie's kind of depressing.
Okay,
There's Eight Crazy Nights for all you Hanukkah fans out there,
Oh yeah, for
which is an Adam
Sandler.
Sandler animated movie, and it's actually, it's weird because I say like I don't like Bad Santa that much, but then I like Eight Crazy Nights, which is just another raunchy,
Yeah.
stupid film. But I mean that
There you go.
that movie that has an old man get pushed down a hill while he's inside of a porta-john and get covered in feces water and then sprayed with a hose and becomes a poopsicle. Like it's, and
Right.
I don't like Bad Santa, but I like this
You
movie.
don't like bad.
There's something
Santa.
wrong with me.
This is yeah.
There's a song about a guy wiping his ass with the wrong hand. Meanwhile, the hand that he's talking about, he has a hook for a hand,
Oh man.
and he's admitted to accidentally hooking himself while wiping.
that is something.
Yeah,
Truly.
but I mean that's a Hanukkah movie. Do we know any Kwanzaa movies? Do we know any?
I don't know. I don't know if there's.
I ask you not because it's,
you ask me. I don't know.
it's not.
Uh,
It's not race
Christmas-
baiting. I'm just asking. It's,
Say, Gremlins.
you know what? I will count Gremlins. I love Gremlins. I will count as a Christmas movie. It does take place during Christmas. Christmas doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the plot.
Right. But it does happen during Christmas, and the Gremlins rules are still like up in the air. Like, is this Eastern time, Pacific,
As
Universal Standard
confusing.
Time? What is Zulu? What is
It doesn't really make sense.
like?
Just
8.
midnight wherever there are
Yeah.
locally. Because if you, so
You
that
feed
means
them
if you,
after 8.
that means if you move them somewhere
Right.
else, time zone
Are
later.
they keeping track? Or I mean, is this where he originally came from, or where he is right now? I don't.
I think it's a moon position. I think that's how it makes more sense in my head.
I don't know if that matters when you're on Earth, like, realistically. But who knows? You know what I'm saying? It's
Mogwai.
Mogwai, the young Mogwai, and I'm thinking.
That was a long
I
pause.
strong pause
That
to
was
think
a
about the
long pause.
logistics of Mogwai in general.
Don't think
Like,
about it too hard. It's a
if-
movie about.
if Gizmo changes, I mean, I guess like realistically, what happens in the first movie and in the Gremlins 2, even Gremlins 2 was an interesting movie as well. But like, what happens in like Gremlins is like every other Mogwai changes to like the green dudes, like eat food, whatever, they become bad. If Gizmo would have turned 2, that'd just be it. There were no good Mogwais anymore. It's a wrap. It's a wrap on that.
True.
There's no like there being no shift back is just a real interesting concept. Like then you shift over, that's just it. You're at. You fed them after midnight, you lose. You stole fizzy lifting drinks, you lose.
That's the role, man.
You
They evolve.
you get good day, sir. Like, and realistically, before they changed, they weren't. I mean,
That movie's
what does the changing do other than like give them a little bit more mobility? Because they were already assholes.
No, that movie's racist.
Okay.
There's been
There's
There's been ties. There's been
essays.
essays written and ties written to how it. I only say that in jest. It's been claimed that that movie is portraying black people when they become gremlins.
They do feed them chicken.
They said they feed them chicken. They're loud in the movie theater.
They
They're
do-
ratchet, right?
they
And
do
then they
feed 'em
also can't get in
chicken.
the water.
Damn, that's
And so they have been. It has been compared to making black people, quote unquote, gremlins. I think that's I don't think it's necessarily a stretch, but I don't think that's what the movie writers were going for. They weren't like, let's turn these little things into black people. I think that you projecting that it might be black people kind of makes you racist. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's a Jingle All the Way too.
stop
with Larry
it.
the Cable Guy.
Stop it. I'm not. Stop it. No, don't ruin it.
What?
We're looking up Christmas movies. I mean, there's also the Rankin Bass movies. If you haven't seen those, I mean, you probably have. You just don't know what they're called. Those are the stop motion, like little claymation videos and movies.
And
They
for
usually
those
show
of
up
you-
on like ABC Family every year, where they're like Baby Rudolph or Rudolph Saves Baby New Year,
Yeah,
Island of
those
Misfit
old-
Toys, Year Without
yeah.
Santa Claus. Those are hard classics. I would highly recommend you go catch those. You can probably find them for like $5 DVD bins
Charlie
anywhere.
Brown Christmas, I can't say I've seen.
Was
at
that
all.
Charlie Brown?
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's great. We used to have a Charlie Brown Christmas tree when I was a young man.
We last.
Yep. We used to
Or
go
lad, I guess.
when I was a broke man. We used to go get
Y'all soon, bro.
saddest tree we
Boys.
could and did it Charlie Brown style.
Hmm.
But I mean, there's tons of Christmas stuff out there, and we've seen our fair share of stuff. But we just kind of want to get everybody in the holiday spirit. A lot of this stuff you can find online, and just start those movie traditions early.
Right.
Get your family in, start watching those movies. We used to watch 2 movies every year. We watched Jim Carrey's The Grinch, and we watched It's a Wonderful Life. And nowadays I watch it as an adult, and I still love those movies. So, create those fond memories. Enjoy that holiday season. Open those presents. Give those gifts.
Give the gift of
Have some
love.
eggnog.
what the world needs now. Get some Wendy's, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say, and definitely for me, like I don't have any movie tradition I watch like annually, nothing like that. But definitely enjoy a good Christmas movie. So for me, so like I said, Jingle All the Way.
Mhm.
It's like something to keep you intrigued and like where this movie goes, the twists and turns on this guy's adventure to try and prove to his kid that he's not a piece of shit.
He's not a bad dad.
Right. He's not a part of the bad dad formula. I mean, he starts as it, and you don't really get to see where he goes after Christmas is over. So it's kind of.
Nah, he's a bad dad.
It's implied that he starts to care more, but I mean, work is calling, so he has to go. He'll definitely be at your game on Thursday. So that's how that's
Trash
working.
dads. I can't wait
We'll
for that
definitely be at your
episode.
game on
Bad dads
Thursday.
is gonna be such a good episode.
Oh man, dude, like I'm looking forward to just like the most odd thing just somebody's dad does. It's like, but dude, like something that's so trivial. It's like you could have done this and did everything else you wanted to do as well. Why did it come to this?
Tim Allen has made a career on being a bad dad. Wasn't he in the movie where he turned into a Shaggy Dog? Wasn't
Yes,
that him
Shaggy
being
Dog,
a bad
Shaggy
dad too?
Dog, yeah. I think he might have died in that.
No, you're thinking of Fluke. Fluke is the guy who dies, comes back as a puppy. He doesn't remember that he was a person. He has like certain memories,
Mm-hmm.
but then he gets adopted by his wife and his ex-wife and his widowed wife and his son. Dude, that movie
So
is
Shaggy
wild.
Dog, he just turned into a dog.
He dies and gets reincarnated as a puppy, as a brand new puppy dog.
No, it's about Shaggy Dog.
Shaggy Dog, he turns into a dog.
Why?
Science experiment. He works at a company that does like chemicals or something.
Interesting. So was this 100 good eats for Eddie McDowell? hey, man, they're gonna do people turn into animal movies.
Wait, we do,
100 good deeds for Eddie McDowell. I don't even know if
anthropomorphic
they
people.
got over like 30 really good deeds back. They should have done like 3 a episode realistically,
Yeah.
because you weren't gonna. I mean, this guy turned into a dog. Okay, how many episodes are you gonna get out of this for real? Like, we need to go. That's the episode we need to do. Old Nick shows, because Nick did just wild.
Alex Mack.
Oh man. Yeah. See, Alex Mack, 100 Good Deeds for Eddie McDowell.
Was Animorphs on Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
Yo, that show
Those
was
are books.
whack,
I think
bro.
it was a book series first.
It was, and that show was whack. By the way, I don't care who. It's garbage.
Are
You for the Dark though? That
did-
show hits.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
And Animorphs could do nothing behind the books. I mean, you're
Dude.
budgeted. That's what I need to remake. Give me young Animorphs now.
No.
Give me Animorphs in like dystopian.
No, dude.
now,
The
wild stuff.
Animorph story was so weird.
Yes.
It got
One
so
of the kids
weird.
is just a straight alien. He was just like you.
There was a war going on. That was the whole
Yeah.
thing.
They need to learn each other powers so they can fight these people. Like it's
No, thank
that.
you. Because
Because
there was a whole thing like
Animorphs.
they can get stuck as animals if they stay that way too long.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the thing?
And I don't know if like each of them had like an individual like one animal they turn into, or if they could turn into different ones, like a couple. I don't remember.
I don't either.
But I think like you had like one that you turned into the first time, and then you could do that one. But I think you like got the ability to, like transform into more.
We'll save it.
Bro,
We'll store it.
That's. I mean, I wouldn't do a whole Animorphs episode because I don't think there wasn't that
We'll
much
pull
to
it
cover
back.
realistically. But we'll do like a wild like old Nick shows like.
I want to do
Nick
like I definitely want to do like a '90s cartoon one.
Yeah.
Just our favorite '90s cartoons. I have a lot, but we'll save it for another time. I think for now though, we've hit all of our little Christmas movies we've seen. I'm sure there's plenty more. We didn't really hit any of the rom-coms. We're not really big on those movies, but you know, if you are, that's fine.
I mean,
Whatever
there's,
you guys like to watch.
Was a Lifetime
Love Actually
and
and
Hallmark Channel
Hallmark
movies
does all those
to
movies
to
and
the end of time.
just there's a bunch. I mean, Just
They
Friends.
have a formula
but-
for those. Like there's literally like a formula for, hey, I can break it down right now. Like from memory. It's like there's a lady. She's a city lady. Does whatever job in the city. And then
Independent city
somebody dies or some fanciness happens where she has to go to this small town where this house is, and the house is a piece of shit. She meets this guy first day, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm country man,
Recently divorced, maybe has a child."
right? Like this guy who's just primed to been waiting on her his whole life, like up to this point. She couldn't find no man in the city, of course, and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, this movie is written it's been made a million times. It is as formulaic as they get.
Yep.
And they end the movie together. The movies I enjoyed. Oh man, so we were talking about like last year around Christmas, 2 movies that came out. Bumblebee and Aquaman, and how like in Bumblebee he kisses, or not in Aquaman. I'm talking about like romances and how how they're handled in movies, and how Aquaman kisses a chick and you're like, where does this come from? And then in Bumblebee the guy goes to kiss a chick and she's like, whoa kid, well, I don't know you like that. That was great. So Aquaman had the one awkward one, even when you think about Into the Spider-Verse, where he's like there with the girl and she's like, oh, we're friends, bro, chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
yes,
so
I
dudes
agree.
get-
I agree with what you're saying. It was
What?
interesting that Aquaman decided to go the route where I was like, I thought they were actually related, and then they made out, and then in Bumblebee they were
Right,
like,
she was just
no, we're not.
engaged-
That's
she
not
was-
the kind
she's
of.
still engaged to this.
This
guy.
is
What
not the kind of
happening
movie
right
it
now?
is.
I don't know.
So
Right, yeah. Versus now it's just
that's for a different episode. Get out of here with that right now. These wild tangents at the end of the
Hey
episodes.
man, hey, I'm just.
We're
I'm
trying to
just-
sign off over here, and this man wants to talk about how crappy Aquaman is.
Hey man, I need people to know. I need to talk movies. I'm not gonna talk about Aquaman.
You finna talk about Aquaman.
because it's
Want
something
to.
else. But
Holds back.
I will bring it. It was last year's Christmas movie of the season.
No,
I'm
it
pretty
was
sure-
not.
I'm pretty sure it made the money.
It
Made the
came
most
out.
money.
It does not make a Christmas movie just because it comes
I
out
mean,
around Christmas.
a movie that came out during like December-ish and made
That means
the most
every
money.
Star Wars movie that comes out every year.
I mean, yeah, technically.
Nope. It's not a Christmas movie.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Christmas.
The Christmas Menace.
The
Santa
or the
Menace.
Revenge of the Gifts. You know what I'm saying? The Toy Wars. You know what I'm saying?
Stop.
But yeah, the Clone Toys. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But yeah. No, I'm not sure those movies came out at Christmas time anyway. Those the prequels. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's all we got for the holiday special.
Yeah.
Of Dumb Stuff We Like podcast, and we're out. Go watch Christmas movie. Go check out.
We'll be
Rise of
talking
Skywalker.
about Star Wars next week, though.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
please
yeah.
go watch it.
Go-
It'll be a
go
spoiler-filled
see-
episode. We're not gonna
Yeah.
hold back.
Spoil. Yeah. We didn't say nothing about it today, even though some people really probably have already seen the movie.
Yep.
Because it came out, you can go see it in theaters. But yeah, next week we're letting that movie have it. It's we might do another special because it's still in the holiday season.
Yeah.
Where we keep it tight and wreck that episode. But that's all for this week. I'm Brian,
I'm Chris.
and we're out.
See ya.